I have had the new iPhone 15 Pro and the iPhone 15 Plus for a little over 24 hours now. I've also have the new Apple Watch Ultra 2, and I've had that one for almost 4 hours. I got these devices a bit early. I'm very fortunate in that aspect, very grateful as well. So I've been testing them out and playing with them and have some thoughts. Let's start with the one that I've been using the most, and probably the one I'm guessing you all are the most interested in, the iPhone 15 Pro. Now this is the Pro model, not the Pro Max. My personal phone is always the Pro Max. I have big, massive hands, and I have trouble typing on this thing. It is so much smaller. I'm struggling typing on this thing, but I've been using it, and other than the fact the screen size is smaller than what I'm used to, I absolutely love it. So the first thing that you notice is it's significantly lighter. Now for me, that's not a great test because I'm coming from the 14 Pro Max, that's my personal phone, to the 15 Pro. So not only is it the smaller one, which has the smaller battery, so of course it's gonna weigh less, but you're going from the stainless steel material to the titanium material, which weighs less. In fact, it weighs significantly less, but feels very good in the hand. The titanium itself looks really good. The color I have here is natural titanium. If there wasn't a blue model, I would say this is the best looking one, but of course I'm gonna say the blue one looks best. But this one looks really good. If you ordered the natural titanium, you're getting a very good looking iPhone. I love that the band around the sides is darker. It looks very, very nice. The thing you notice immediately, especially if you're somebody like me and doesn't use a case, is the new sort of like rounded-ish edges. Like if you're looking at the phone face down like this, you don't see rounded corners on it at all. Like it just looks like the iPhone 14 or the 13 or the 12. But when you hold it in your hand, you feel it. You don't feel those sharp edges, those 90-degree angles poking into your hand anymore. This right here, if you've never gone caseless with a phone, maybe try it for a day. Unless you're somebody that's very clumsy and you drop things, then don't come at me. I haven't regularly put a case on my phone since the iPhone 6S. I've tried out some cases here and there, but I've always gone back to just having a naked iPhone, which I really love. The thing that I am the most excited about though with these new Pro models isn't even the camera, it's the action button. So the action button replaces the mute switch from every phone since the original iPhone. I'm not a big mute switch user person. I'm somebody that just leaves my phone on silent. If it's making noises, something has gone horribly wrong. So when I first got the phone set up, I left it on the default setting, which is toggle between loud and mute. And I played with it for a bit, and the thing that you notice right away is there's haptic feedback. So if you're somebody that uses a mute switch iPhone and you're like, okay, I'm gonna toggle this on and off in my pocket. I'm not gonna take the phone out of my pocket. I'm just gonna toggle it when I'm walking into this meeting, and that's what you're used to. You will get used to, just holding down the button and turning on mute, and you'll know it's mute very quickly. Like, they're very distinctive haptics. As soon as I was done playing with the mute switch option, I switched it to a shortcut. Now, I've been working on a shortcut called Action Cut that incorporates a bunch of different shortcuts, and it actually uses your focus modes to adapt to your different situations. So I always have a focus enabled, and my shortcut here adapts to the situation. I'm gonna do a full walkthrough video on how to set this up because it is a little complex because there's a bunch of different nested if statements and all sorts of things. So it's gonna get its own video in the next couple of days just because it is a bit more complicated to explain in this short first look video. Now, the thing about the action button is you have to hold it down to trigger it. You can't just quickly press it. Like, that does not do anything. You have to hold it down in order to trigger it. I'm guessing this is because they don't want you to accidentally trigger it in your pocket. That's fair, I get that, but it's not like I toggle the volume buttons in my pocket, so I don't think, having to hold it down is necessary. I would love to just be able to quickly press it and trigger it, and then maybe double press it to get a second option. That would be fantastic. I have played with the camera a bit, but as you all might have noticed on the channel, I'm releasing a video every single day this week, so I've basically been in this room all week long. I haven't really gone outside. I haven't really done anything. I'm planning a trip to Yosemite to test not just the photos, but the video features as well, because there's a ton in there, and I just love going up to Yosemite and taking photos and videos. It's one of my favorite places, so I'm gonna save like the photo and video stuff for another video. Ton of people have already talked about it, but I want to really test this in a real world open situation and not a perfectly lit studio or professionally lit studio. On my list of things I'm excited about, action button is at the top, but I think the thing that could probably tie it or come in an extremely close second is USB-C. Now, on my nightstand and in my office here, I use a MagSafe charger to charge my phone. But USB-C is just the universal standard charger. When I'm traveling, I've had to bring lightning cables. I have lightning cables in the living room and my kitchen. It's just annoying that some of my devices use one charger, the other devices use USB-C. Now we're transitioning everything over to USB-C, and it's been great on these phones. Oh my God, I love plugging a USB-C cable in. Literally, like I was just like taking a cable and just plugging it in and unplugging and plugging it back in. I'm like, it works now. It works. So excited. The thing with the 15 Pro line is you're going to be able to record 4K 60 frames per second ProRes footage to external drives. Now, the reason why it's going to be external drives is that footage is going to be extremely large. I'm going to shoot some of that stuff when I go up to Yosemite and do a video up there about that. I'm excited to see what that footage looks like. I've tested a little bit of it, but again, I'm in a perfectly lit room. I don't want to be like, oh, look at this great footage I've shot, because I have like this 3-point lighting setup in here that it's just not a good balance test. I think the only devices that I have left that don't have USB-C are my AirPods. I still have the Lightning AirPods Pro. I have AirPods Max, and then I have 2 Magic trackpads, one for the Mac Studio and one for my iPad when it's plugged into the monitor. I think that's all that's left at Lightning. So I'm excited to get those upgraded and off Lightning, and then I'll take a pile of Lightning cables over to my brother's house, my parents' house, and just be like, here you go, have fun. I guess this technically counts as a design update phone. There was physical changes to the outside. It's probably more of a minor design update iPhone, because if you were to do like a blind look test and like the colors matched previous iPhones, just by looking at them, you wouldn't really be able to tell much of a difference. But holding it in your hand, especially without a case, feels really good. I really like it. I really love the action button. I've been using that a lot. In fact, I deleted the shortcuts widget off my iPhone, which if you know me, I'm a big shortcuts person. I deleted the widget off my phone and have just been using the action button, which is cool. This video is sponsored by me. I have Wallpaper Pack. Those wallpapers you have seen on all of my devices for the last year or so are available to download. I'm going to put a link in the description below to where you can go check them out. The other device I have here is the iPhone 15 Plus. It's really nice. It's really light, especially compared to like the 14 Pro Max, it being the same size and stuff like that, because it's not made from, stainless steel or anything like that. Looks good. I have the green one here. My issue with the colors of the new 15 line is they are very muted. They don't have any saturation to them at all. In fact, if it was probably placed in outside or brightly lit room, you could probably barely see the green in it. Like in here in my studio where I have the lighting perfect, I can see the green, but yeah, if I take it out of here, it's very, very muted. So I'm not a fan of that kind of color palette, but I know other people are. So if this is your cup of tea, great, good for you. The iPhone 15 line now has the dynamic island, which is something I really like from the 14 Pro line, and of course it's on the 15 Pro line as well. I find the dynamic island to be extremely useful, especially for stuff like timers, timery, now playing, that kind of thing really is useful. The camera is kind of the same situation in the 14 Pro. I haven't really had a chance to test it in a real world scenario that's not a perfectly lit studio. I know people don't have big studio lights where they're taking photos off their iPhone, so I'm not gonna even try and pretend that's a normal real world case. Overall, it's an interesting device with amazing battery life. One of the things I forgot to mention with this, going from the Pro Max to the Pro, oof, your battery life takes a hit. Between typing on that and battery life, I can't wait to get my hands on a Pro Max. But let's talk about the Apple Watch Ultra 2. This is my first Apple Watch Ultra that I've used, and I love it. I was kind of wary about the Apple Watch Ultra. I was like, that looks really big, and I have big hands and stuff like that, so I wasn't worried about it looking like a monster object on me, but I was just like, do I really need something that big? Like, it's clearly for like extreme sports people, and I'm not, you know, base jumping off of a mountain into my scuba diving gear and like diving down to some shipwreck or something. I don't even know. I mostly use it as a computer and a productivity device. In fact, I'm going to update my Apple Watch as a productivity device video because I've been changing the way I use it as a device that I use in my work life. What I noticed right away, and I'm guessing this is thanks to the titanium, is while it is this big watch-looking device, it's not heavy. Like, I don't feel like I have this weight on my wrist dragging me down. And just looking at images of it, that was my first impression. It feels really good. I really like it. I love the orange accents. I immediately put on my Nomad Goods band. This band was originally designed to work with the Apple Watch Ultra. The Apple Watch Ultra has this new ultra modular watch face that I really like. It gives you the option of 6 small complications along with 1 large complication. And then there's an option to have seconds tick, elevation, or your depth. And I have mine set on depth because it kind of gives it this bluish tint color. You know, I've only had this one for about 4 hours, so I don't have a ton to say on it that hasn't already been said. I like it. I want to use it more. I'm going to do a full review on it, and I'm also going to update my productivity video. But yeah, so that's kind of like my first impressions, first look at these devices. I'm super excited to dive more into them. If you guys have questions about them, please let me know what they are in the comments below so I can kind of cover them in my full review of these devices. Just let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a great day.